Hey guys, today on the show, we have the pioneer of like direct response marketing strategies who have launched campaigns and scale brands in the household industry. Let's say Juice Man, OxyClean, to transforming like GoPro from a startup to a global uh, brand over here. He's been at a front of applying direct response principles in ways most marketers still don't fully grasp. His journey spans 30 plus years of integrating traditional and digital media, pioneering ways of videos driven measurable ROIs over here. So today we have Rick Caesar over here. So am I pronouncing that correct, right?
Cesari.
Cesari. So yeah,
Yeah.
Rick Cesari, direct to consumer marketing veteran, right? So Rick, if you can tell us a little bit about you and what exactly you have done, a little bit, just a brief, then we will have some very in-depth questions for you.
All right, good. I'll try to be brief, but I've been doing this a long time. I got started
Mm-hmm.
in direct-to-consumer marketing way back in
Mm-hmm.
1986, probably
Mm-hmm.
before a lot of your listeners were even born. And
Yes.
my main channel at that time was newspaper
Mm-hmm.
advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, fast forward to today,
Mm-hmm.
and primarily I'm doing a lot of social media in the form of online videos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like YouTube and Instagram Reels and TikTok, and that's
Mm-hmm.
working the best for our clients. So in that
Mm-hmm.
time frame between 1986 and today, I owned a direct response marketing agency, and like you mentioned, introduction, I built the Juice Man and Bread Man brands.
Mm-hmm.
Sold that business in 1993.
Mm-hmm.
Started an agency. Very first
Mm-hmm.
project was the Sonic Care toothbrush,
Yep.
which was a big success. Um, Went on to do all the original television advertising for OxyClean.
Mm-hmm.
That company was a big success, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Rug Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and then you mentioned the
GoPro
GoPro
as well.
camera.
Yes,
My
yes.
agency did all the television marketing for the GoPro camera. And all of this has been direct to consumer or direct response advertising, where
Mm-hmm.
people will see the ad and
Mm-hmm.
they'll respond to either go to the
Mm-hmm.
website to purchase or back in the early days, call an 800 number. So I've been
Absolutely.
doing direct to consumer advertising for a long time and have been
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough to work with some great products and build some great brands.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. 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 So like I think let's straight jump into some like very detailed question over here. So let's say when you look back at the campaigns that worked too well, let's say Oxy Clean level
Mhm.
winners over there. What was the earliest measurable signals that told you this will scale before the obvious metrics showed it? And what signals do most teams mistake for product market fit, man? Like,
Yeah. So I always like to work. The hardest thing for me to sell is a
mm-hmm,
brand new product that's
mm-hmm,
not been exposed to the public. There's no sales history. But if there's a product that has been successfully selling, even at a small
mm-hmm,
amount, it depends if it's a startup, $50,000 or whatever, it might be selling $1 million. What I've been able to do is come in and take those products
mm-hmm,
and by using different advertising methods, just been
mm-hmm,
able to really ramp up the sales significantly.
mm-hmm,
So, if I can answer your question correctly, I like to find out or see if a product, the public responds to a
mm-hmm,
product or service,
mm-hmm,
and if they are, we can take that and then build that into usually a pretty substantial brand. But starting from just scratch, where it's like, oh, take this pen and sell it, then
mm-hmm.
that's a hard thing. Um,
Absolutely.
so I usually come into companies that already have some amount of successful sales and
Uh-huh.
help guide them in their direct to consumer marketing and
Absolutely.
how to increase their sales through their advertising.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome. So, the next thing that I want to ask you, as you are doing this like direct marketing from decades, it's been decades, and you're doing this before I even born. right?
Mhm.
So over decades in this industry, what was one assumption you believed about direct response marketing that was completely overturned by the real world results? And how was that reshaped your approach to the modern marketing channels?
Yeah, that's a good question. One of the things I had to learn the hard way
Mm-hmm,
was, and there have been successful products in this category, but for
mm-hmm,
me, was trying to sell
mm-hmm,
prevention
mm-hmm,
instead of selling a
mm-hmm,
cure or a solution to a problem.
mm-hmm,
And with direct response marketing, it's
mm-hmm,
always been very, very difficult to sell a product that was based on preventing an outcome as
mm-hmm,
opposed to the problem existed and here's the solution to the problem.
mm-hmm,
And I kind of had to learn that the hard
mm-hmm,
way. Uh, trying to do campaigns for products that were preventative products,
mm-hmm.
um, and focusing on what they could prevent versus what the benefit was to the consumer,
Absolutely.
to fix a problem. And
Mm-hmm,
so, if you go back, it's like problem solution is the key to everything. What's the
mm-hmm,
problem the consumer's experiencing, and can your product solve that problem? And then
mm-hmm,
how do you um, make them believe that
mm-hmm.
it really does what it says that your product does.
Absolutely. Got you. Got you. Awesome. So like as you mentioned, like you have learned this like in a hard way. So like you have worked with like bridges of like traditional direct to consumer channels and today's
Mhm.
digital marketing as well, right? So can you walk through an example where a classic DRTV tactic unexpectedly outperform the modern type of marketing over here, right? And why it outperform the why traditional marketing outperform the modern marketing.
Yeah, so what I like to tell people and what I think I've learned is that delivery platforms
Mm-hmm,
change the way
mm-hmm,
people get their information, their advertising, but
mm-hmm,
human nature doesn't really change. And so if you can appeal or use the hot button that gets people to respond,
mm-hmm.
those things really haven't changed even over the time frame we're talking about. So it's
Yes.
really adapting tried and true direct response um, methodology
Mm-hmm.
to the modern uh, delivery platform. And I'll give you a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, in a television commercial in the old days,
Mm-hmm.
linear television, even though we still use some of it today, you would have to, a 30-second ad, you have to have a hook. Okay. How
Mm-hmm.
you to get the people to,
Absolutely.
yeah, watch the rest of the commercial.
Yes.
So if you could talk about online videos on
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram and TikTok, it's so important now. What's your hook? How are you going to get the people to watch that video? And so
Mm-hmm.
there's many things that are very similar
Mm-hmm.
to older traditional advertising that work
Mm-hmm.
in today's world. So I always tell people you're really better off if you want to do direct to consumer marketing to really understand and read books about direct response marketing and what worked in the old days, and you can adapt that to the delivery channel,
Mm-hmm.
in today's marketplace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. That is really good because like as we are also a marketing organization, we never thought or know how to do TV advertisement that you guys have done in the
Mhm.
past. So and
Was
also
yeah, it was
mm-hmm,
yeah. And it was interesting about the TV advertising. It used to be, we'll go back 15 years or whatever, even longer.
mm-hmm,
You could launch a product on TV. It was a very expensive proposition, and
mm-hmm,
you really had to understand the consumer to make
mm-hmm.
it work. And nowadays, it's much easier, obviously, to test things online
Yes.
and get some
Yes.
feedback about what works and what
Absolutely.
doesn't work. So that's
Absolutely.
what's really good. And so in the
Absolutely.
old days, you could launch a product and be successful on TV. Now I
Mm-hmm,
tell companies they have to have their digital foundation in place. They
mm-hmm.
have to, if it's a consumer product,
Mm-hmm.
they have to be on Amazon because people are going to search there and you're going to make sales. You have to have your Shopify or website built up correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have your email marketing in place. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you have this digital foundation in place
Mm-hmm.
and you can layer in TV on top of it, it's a great awareness um, vehicle to propel
Mm-hmm.
all the other channels.
Absolutely, absolutely. Awesome. So I think like at some point you guys had some type of problems. Like I was doing some research and I understood like let's say Sonicare problems over there, like price friction versus education depth,
Mhm.
right? So you have talked about cases where the product is obviously better, but the price breaks consumer intuition, right? So, what is your decision rule for educate longer versus simplify the offer versus change the channel mix? If you had to like express it like an if then tree, like what does that tree looks like?
Yeah. So if we use the Sonicare example that you brought
Mm-hmm.
up,
Mm-hmm.
when that product was introduced,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was, I think, close to $200. And
Mm-hmm.
the tooth any toothbrush at the time was
Yes.
a dollar at the
Yeah,
grocery
I know.
store, or
Yes.
or there were some early electric toothbrushes that
Uh-huh.
you could buy for like $30. So there
Mm-hmm.
was a huge price barrier, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like why should someone, and they had a problem. They put their product on the shelf, really pretty packaging, and it
Mm-hmm.
said Sonic toothbrush. But somebody walking in the store goes, why should I pay $150 for a toothbrush? So,
Mm-hmm.
this is an important point coming up is we did it through TV, but obviously you can do it through online video
Mm-hmm.
or information online that you get on the website. We had to tell the story about
Mm-hmm.
why the sonic technology was different than traditional brushing and
Mm-hmm.
why it would benefit you, and then figure out how to justify the price. So in that case,
Mm-hmm.
um, the guarantees are important in any direct response marketing you
Mm-hmm.
do to take the risk out for the consumer
Absolutely.
to at least try it. But we guaranteed people a better dental checkup.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, if you get a bad dental checkup, that costs a lot
Mm-hmm.
of money. And
Absolutely.
with the Sonicare toothbrush, we said we could reverse gum disease, which if you have ever had it, is very expensive
Mm-hmm.
and painful sometimes, and have whiter teeth. People were spending a lot of money on teeth whitening. So
Mm-hmm.
you basically just um, lay out enough benefits to justify the price,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then basically it's the other thing that, and I'm using the Sonicare with a lot of examples, but
Sure.
if you've read any of my books or
Yeah.
anything like that, how important the unique, the
Mm-hmm.
UPS is, the unique selling proposition.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
makes a Sonicare toothbrush different than all the other brushes out there? Well, the
Mm-hmm.
sonic technology. And so what does the sonic technology do for you? It lets you clean beyond the bristles, so it goes into all the nooks and crannies in your teeth that you can't get with traditional brushing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so one of the biggest things in all of the marketing, besides the benefits, is really why is your product unique and
Mm-hmm.
different than any other product out there? And if you can
Mm-hmm.
identify that, that's the thing that you really work on advertising and educating the consumer
Mm-hmm.
about what makes your product unique.
Got you. Got you. Awesome. Awesome. So like as like oh, one good thing that I have in this podcast is basically from the TV advertisement from the modern day marketing as well. So I have like a question on like short attention span in the new era. Like let's say
Mhm.
ADA plus repetition worked in classic DRTV because
Mhm.
you could hold attention, right? In today's
Right.
scenario, or I would say environment, what's your modern equivalent of tell them what you will say or say it or tell them what you
Right.
said, basically, right?
Yeah,
So
that's my
absolutely.
I stole that from, I think, Dale Carnegie,
Yes,
when basically about the formula for a successful speech. Tell
absolutely.
them what you're going to say it, and
Yep.
then tell them what you said.
Absolutely.
But anyway, as far as in modern day marketing, and
Hmm.
one of my books, I'm going to do a promotion now,
Hmm.
called Video Persuasion. You can get this on
Nice.
Amazon. And it's
Nice.
really all about that. How do you, how do you persuade people to take a certain action by using video? And
Mm-hmm.
uh, basically, there's several different ways that you can, uh, capture people's attention very quickly. And here's the mistake a lot of people make is you're never, whatever you're doing advertising wise, you're never going to appeal to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about that. It's like, how am I going to catch my demographic?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can start these videos out with a question. You can start it out with a fact. There's several different ways to do that where you're basically just catching the interest of the person to make them want to listen to the rest of the video. And
Mm-hmm.
so if it's a video, I'm going to make this up now on juicing or making
Mm-hmm.
fresh juice, um, your fact might be, did you know there's an element in broccoli that can help prevent breast cancer? So if you're maybe a woman that's
Mm-hmm.
worried about that, or you're going to listen to the rest of the video because you want to
Mm-hmm.
see what that information is. So it's really just presenting a question or a factoid type of thing at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of a video, which is going to capture the audience that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
And I go
Absolutely.
I go over there. There's like 10
Mm-hmm.
different ones that I go over in my book. So
Nice, nice, nice. I was just looking into your all the books, the Billion Dollar Company and all those thing over there. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Few books are not available over here in India. One or two, I guess.
I
But
think the video persuasion one is in my newest book, which is The Wellness Business Blueprint.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That one is basically if you have a health product,
mm-hmm,
basically specific marketing plans to market a health product or a
mm-hmm,
wellness product, or
mm-hmm.
even if it's a wellness practice, doctor's practice, how do you build your practice, that type of thing.
Nice, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. So
Thank you for letting me pitch my book.
sure, absolutely, absolutely. I was just going through all the books that you have published. So that was the thing I was discussing over there with my team. Basically, I'm getting on a podcast with a person, Rick over there. He launched this many books, worked with GoPro, and everyone is like, "Yeah, send me the link after the podcast. I just want to
Oh,
see
great.
that."
When I wrote most of the books was during the COVID because, you're
Yeah, I
sitting at
understand.
home and
Uh-huh.
I made a goal. I said, I'm going to write. I already had one book published through a publisher. Then I said, well, I'm going to self-publish some more. And I said, I want to write 5 books in 5 years
Mm-hmm.
about, all the marketing stuff I had learned over the
Absolutely,
years. So it was a
absolutely.
fun project.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. Awesome. So I think Rick, let's talk about a little bit on the proof stack architecture over there. So like most people ask, how do you get testimonials for the obviously for your clients? I want to I want the structure behind it. Like, what's your idea? Like ideal proof stack sequence for a cold prospect? You're
Mhm.
working with a client, what will be that thing, and how do you decide the ratio of like demonstration proof, party credibility, customer transformation stories, and objection proofs, basically returns, guarantees, compensations, and all those things. So based on the category on like risk, which is basically, let's say, health, home, beauty, etc.
Mhm.
So how that proof thing works in the marketing
Yeah.
space you're doing.
So again, this I didn't come up with any of these things. I just basically leveraged um, how to use them.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I always feel like testimonials, or in
Mm-hmm.
modern language, social proof,
Mm-hmm.
um, is one of the most powerful selling vehicles
Mm-hmm.
uh, that you can have for a product.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, going back to what I said earlier in the interview about working
Mm-hmm.
with a product that already has some existing sales, one of
Mm-hmm.
the reasons you do that, or I like to do that, is
Mm-hmm.
there's existing product users that can give you testimonials for the product. Now, it is even easier these days because you can go on to Amazon and read the product reviews and get some really good sound bites from the
Absolutely.
product reviews, the positive product reviews on Amazon. But I always like to include quite a few product testimonials And these are
Mm-hmm.
real. These are from product users. They aren't like lines that you write or chat GPT or whatever.
Yes,
That
yes, yes,
they're
yes.
real people that have used the product. And what I found in it has it helped my marketing is I interview them
Mm-hmm.
and I'll ask them, like we're having an interview now, you're asking me questions. I'll ask them
Absolutely.
anywhere from 10 to 15 questions about the product. And the
Mm-hmm.
interview might be 20 minutes, it might be 30 minutes. And I just listen to them talk and then I make a transcript of it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, if you do that with um, 10 to 15 people, you'll
Mm-hmm.
find out everything you need to know about the product, what people like, why they bought it, what they don't like,
Mm-hmm.
what questions that need answering,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and you can really put together some powerful marketing
Mm-hmm.
messages based on the response that the testimonials give. And
Absolutely.
then the best part is you can then use the video of those people if you're doing a video
Mm-hmm.
in the selling vehicle itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I like
Mm-hmm.
the way I like to do use testimonials a couple ways. One, you were talking about a hook earlier. If you have a really
Mm-hmm.
good testimonial, it might be a good to put that in the very beginning to catch people's attention. Here's
Right.
this, you're listening to somebody and they say, "Oh, I fixed my neck pain using this product or whatever." So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
listen if you're someone with neck pain. The other
Absolutely.
way I like to do it is I'll talk about the benefits of the product, then I'll
Mm-hmm.
use the testimonial as support
Mm-hmm.
to what the announcer or the host or whatever is saying. So that's the going back to that concept again of tell them what you're going to say and then
Right.
say it. So
Yes.
the host says it.
Uh-huh.
Sonic Care can reverse gum disease. Then I have a testimonial come on that says, I went to the dentist and my gum disease was reversed. So
Uh-huh.
they're reinforcing the marketing
Absolutely.
message that
Now I'm
that you're
understanding.
delivering. And
Yes.
so that's how I like to use
Uh-huh.
them in marketing.
Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. Now I'm understanding a lot more about how these type of marketing works inside.
Yep,
So that is awesome. So I think like you just told about you ask bunch of questions, then you have the transcription of those things. So like
yep.
let's say when you sit down with a new product team, right? What's the first question you ask? And what's the most revealing answer you have ever gotten that shaped the entire campaign over there?
Yeah, I kind of start out. I'll answer your question because there are two parts, but the
Mm-hmm.
very first thing I look at because for a product to be successful
Mm-hmm.
in direct to consumer, direct response is
Mm-hmm.
what's the margin? How much
Mm-hmm.
does the product cost to make
Mm-hmm.
versus what you can sell it for?
Mm-hmm.
And it helps to have the larger the markup, the better, but you can make
Mm-hmm.
things work with a 3-to-1 markup. So if it's a
Mm-hmm.
$10 product, you can sell it for 30. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a consumable product, those numbers
Mm-hmm.
change a little because people will reorder. If it's a one-time sale, I would say you need like a 4 to 5 time markup, like I'm going to say a mattress or something where you're going to buy it and not buy another one for like 6 years, or a Sonicare toothbrush. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
buy it and not buy another one for who knows, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Yes. Yes.
But if it's I'm working with a company right now that makes uh, an Epsom salt lotion that's good for muscle soreness,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, they don't have to have as much margin because someone's going to order that product, go through the lotion, then reorder it again.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, um, so to answer your question, the first thing I look at is more like a financial, like, does this product fit the criteria financially? Is there enough marketing margin so you can spend marketing dollars? Now, if
Mm-hmm.
it does that, it just really goes back to then when you're saying about a new product,
Mm-hmm.
the second thing I look at is what problem is it solving,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and is it different than the solutions that are out there? And
Mm-hmm.
if I can get good answers to all of that, then
Nice.
to me, I feel like the product has a good chance of you can make it successful.
Got you. Got you. Awesome. Awesome. So like I think when you guys are and you just discussed about this thing, like we also like Epsom salt lotion. We in
Hmm.
India also there is a new company. I don't know if it could be the similar company or not. They are also selling this lotion. It's a like magnesium lotion
Well,
that has.
magnesium right now is the absolute
Yeah.
hottest thing
Yes.
online.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
and you know, the reason the Epsom salt is that Epsom salt's been around for like 400 years,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
main ingredient of Epsom salt is magnesium
Magnesium.
sulfate. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
so that's how people were getting relief, but they didn't even know it. They were
Yes.
rubbing or soaking in the magnesium. It was absorbed through their
Mm-hmm.
skin.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, from a we do a lot of TikTok videos right now on for this Epsom product, and
Mm-hmm.
anytime you mention magnesium, the number of views
It
just
will pop up.
skyrockets.
Yes. Yes.
What's I gonna? I'm trying to think. I was reading some statistics the other day, that I think it was Google searches or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
like there's 5 times as many for magnesium than there are for
Mm-hmm.
Epsom salt. But
Absolutely.
the nice thing about the Epsom lotion is they have a patent, and they're the only ones that they can talk about having Epsom salt in their product. So there's
Nice.
a lot of magnesium lotions out there right now.
Nice. Yes. Yes. There are a lot of trends that comes basically.
Yeah, I
There.
mean, that same thing you take 10 years ago, it was fish
Yes.
oil.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
was like, you got to take
Yes.
fish oil, you got to take
Yes.
fish oil.
Yes.
So
There was
magnesium is the
another
hot one
thing.
right now.
Yeah, I think there was another thing called NAD plus something like that, that supplement over there.
Yeah,
To reverse
vitamin
the
D
heat.
is the other one that got
Yes,
really
yes.
product successful.
Yes, 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 yes. That is the thing. So I think like as we are discussing, Rick, I want to understand this thing over here about creative fatigue, right? So when are the top three non-obvious root cause that looks like creative fatigue but aren't? And what test do you run in the first 72 hours to isolate which it is?
Oh, can you repeat that? I don't know if I understood the question.
Basically, so let's say when results fail, team blames the creative fatigue, right? And like, what are the top three non-obvious root cause that looks like it is a creative fatigue, but it is not a creative fatigue? So, what are
Yeah.
the three things basically? Or let's say
Hmm.
any whatever you can say, like one, two, or three.
That you look at that don't work creatively. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes, yes. So sometimes we feel like, okay, this can be a creative fatigue. So let's change the creative. But
Right.
it can be offer, it can be the landing page, it can be the hook. So what are the like three things that is not a creative fatigue over here?
Yeah. It's funny.
But
It's funny you mentioned because um, I don't think know that I'm going to answer this question correctly right now,
Mhm.
but you were mentioning about the advertising and the hook and
Yes,
then the
yes.
landing page and all of those things have to be
Mm-hmm.
lined up, and you know this from the marketing you do to
Mm-hmm.
to to successfully sell the product
Mm-hmm.
type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know if I have a good answer for the question you asked.
Okay, no worries over there, man.
I'm
That's
speechless. That doesn't happen very often.
no worries over there, man. So let's go to the next question. I can just cut
Okay.
that in between over there, so no issues. Okay. So let's talk about the like how you have seen brands scales from startup to massive numbers, right? What is
Mhm.
the single highest leveraging decision that changed at, let's say, 10 million ARR uh, to let's say how they have reached to 100 million ARR basically? How what was the highest leveraging decisions they have taken?
Yeah, I mean, at least in the experience I've had, and I think
Mm-hmm.
GoPro was the fastest growing one
Mm-hmm.
because they went from a zero to $1 billion in sales in 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, basically it we were using it was one of the products that married um, good television advertising with good
Mm-hmm.
online and YouTube videos, obviously because GoPro obviously is the in the video thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing was finding the creative and the offer at the end of it. And this is one of the things that really, I mean, sometimes it's just a small thing that can
Mm-hmm.
generate huge amount of sales. And with the
Mm-hmm.
GoPro, working, our agency working with them came up with the
Mm-hmm.
idea. at the end of each 30-second spot, and basically
Mhm,
it was user-generated footage, somebody skiing off a cliff or somebody going over a waterfall. And at the end of
mhm,
each
mhm,
spot, we had a short offer that basically said,
mhm,
go online now and register, and someone will win one of everything we make every
mhm.
single day.
Absolutely.
So whenever we were running TV ads,
Mhm,
um, three things would happen. People would go to register, and to register for the contest, we have their email address, so we can remarket to them.
mhm,
Basically, they would also then go there, and it would drive a huge amount of people to the website, and a
mhm,
percentage of those people would order the product. And
mhm,
so in this case, and a lot of cases, just how the offer is structured is really one of the most important things that can really multiply a
mhm,
product, it and fast growth. And then once you have that offer that works, that people are responding to, then it's
mhm.
just a matter of increasing your media spend, which for
Absolutely.
whatever channel you're doing that. And you probably see that with Meta advertising and YouTube
Mhm.
advertising. One ad works the best, and
Yes.
it's like almost you can take that ad and just
Uh-huh.
basically then put a lot of money behind it, and
Uh-huh.
that's you know, part of the secret on how to grow some of these businesses. In the old days, doing the television infomercials, we would
Mhm,
make six shows that didn't work, but one of them did, and then you were
mhm.
able to spend, literally tens of millions of dollars in advertising, and that's how the
Absolutely.
companies would grow. So it kind of
Absolutely.
always goes back to the good creative with the right offer.
Absolutely. Awesome. So I think I have a follow-up question on that. So like I think you give a lot of emphasis on like authenticity over there in the creatives,
Mhm.
right? So where do you draw the line between a authentic creative and a sloppy creative? So let's say if you had to define a checklist of five or let's say three non-negotiable that protect conversion without killing the authenticity, what are they basically?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. We're coming into interesting times with the AI
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just starting to use that a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
so it'll be interesting to see
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about the authenticity, that goes back to the real product,
Mm-hmm.
user testimonials,
Absolutely.
that get written or VO or video of is really the most authentic way
Absolutely.
to market a product.
Mm-hmm.
But I just actually just worked with a company down in LA and used
Mm-hmm.
AI to make some spots, and it'll be interesting to test these and see how it works. But so before I'm not going to compare it to what technology can do today, but just to answer your question, just if I see a lot of products where I can look at them and I say, well, that's not a real testimonial, that's an actor that they scripted.
Mm-hmm.
I just have always personally had the most success with using the real authentic testimonials and people to support the product. And
Absolutely.
so I've never really tried to do it with just you know, I'm going to use the word fake, but
Mm-hmm.
it's actors saying lines
Uh-huh.
or whatever type of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's what I think happens with some of the TikTok videos that are so good is most of them are pretty authentic because
Mm-hmm.
they're like just a user, using their iPhone or whatever to make a video,
Mm-hmm.
and they aren't highly produced or polished, and there's a lot of
Yes.
authenticity to them.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so in fact, for a lot of TV advertising now, we did entire ones where instead of going out and hiring expensive cameras and
Mm-hmm.
doing that type of thing, everything's recorded on the iPhone because that's the
Mm-hmm.
way people are used to seeing information is through social media. So if you can incorporate that into the advertising, I think people
Mm-hmm.
responded. It's more going back to the authenticity issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. So I think I have like one or two more questions about, let's say, your business now over here. So let's say, uh, what's one recurring challenge you face when you're educating your potential clients on like investing in long form direct response strategies versus short attention span ads, like, and how you overcome that, like how, what are the like challenges you are facing with your
Yeah,
potential.
and for me, and again, there's a lot of different ways to get to the end goal, whatever that might be for the company. But most of them want to grow, the increase sales.
Mm-hmm,
Can we sell the company at the end of that process?
mm-hmm,
And to me, there's just certain steps that you take from a marketing perspective to get out there.
mm-hmm,
And I mean, this is not going to be new information for you or the people on your team, but start with the good website with good information
yes,
about the product,
mm-hmm,
uh, with a good origin story, and then now you have that. That's um, if you picture a wheel, that's like the hub of the wheel. So,
mm-hmm,
okay, how are we going to get people to that website so they can read this information? The website is also the place where you can put the testimonials or the product reviews or whatever, the social proof. But now it's like, how do we get people to go there? And again, in the past, go back, starting in my career, you could run newspaper ads, you could run radio
mm-hmm,
ads, you could run
mm-hmm,
TV ads.
absolutely,
Now, what we're finding is most effective is
mm-hmm,
basically just doing the short online videos for TikTok and Instagram is
mm-hmm,
is is the easiest, least expensive way, I guess, the organic social media of
mm-hmm,
driving that traffic. Now, if you're doing that and the product's selling, in order to get that business to the next stage is we have to have a paid advertising vehicle that we can really leverage and make grow.
mm-hmm,
And we haven't talked much about influencer marketing or that type
mm-hmm,
of thing, but it's
mm-hmm,
kind of like you have to be doing all these things today
absolutely,
successfully to
absolutely,
really make a product grow. It used to be in the old days, you could take one channel and leverage it and the company would grow. And I think for the most cases, you have to be doing a lot of the different channels
mm-hmm,
to make it successful,
mm-hmm,
type of thing.
absolutely, it's like a
What
machine.
I'm seeing in the marketplace and what's working for my clients, the Epsonet product, and I'm working with another product called Quick and Bright, was a cleaning product,
Mm-hmm,
is the organic social media videos, and then
mm-hmm,
the ones that the people respond to, we turn into ads
mm-hmm,
and leverage those. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Awesome. So like another thing is like how many let's say brands you are currently helping basically
Okay,
active.
so I'm at a point in my career
Mhm.
where I'm partially retired. So
Mhm.
I basically do some consulting, just really
Nice.
I've been a marketer all my life. So I
Mhm.
consult with right now um, three brands,
Mhm.
and so they have to be good products that I like,
Mhm.
and the people that are running the company have to be nice people to work with. And
Nice.
so,
Nice.
because I don't have any overhead to support, and I'll
Mhm.
either work as a board advisor or a consulting to help them um, put together their direct to consumer marketing plans.
Mhm.
And that takes up about 2 days a week, and the rest of the
Mhm.
time
Mhm.
is my own to enjoy.
Nice. Nice.
And
Nice.
that went from owning a big agency. I'm not sure how
Mhm.
big your guys' agency is, but I used to, be a product owner, then an agency owner, and
Mhm.
so now
Mhm.
I'm just doing a little bit of consulting for good
Nice.
products, good people.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are also like doing this, I think, from 2019. So it's been
Hmm.
almost 6, 7 years.
Yep,
Currently, yeah, we are in a phase where we are obviously like taking clients. It's around 157 active clients
that's
all over,
awesome.
yeah, all over the US. Mainly working with AI companies. First thing, AI marketing technology companies and
Yeah.
consultant and coaches. Basically, these are the three things. To be like very honest over here, so like only have two things that we provide. It's first thing is content. Second thing is client acquisition for obviously for consultant coaches and
Hmm.
AI companies and marketing technology companies. These are the like two things that we help with. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. So like yeah, we
Might be
are
able to work together at some point.
absolutely, absolutely. Because yeah, I think we still have to go it's a very long way, to be honest, to reach at least your level where you are now. You are at a point to retire, and like we like from childhood, there are brands that we know from childhood, and meeting you, who have done the GoPro thing and all those things, it's pretty awesome, to be honest,
Yeah.
over there. So like it's pretty insane. It's awesome plus insane because we have seen those things when we are like children over there, just playing with, like, let's say, football, this and that. We're just coming there, and we had, okay, someday I will have that camera, maybe.
Yeah.
Like every teenager have that thought. Okay, I will mount that on my bike, and I will just ride it over there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now I'm meeting that person who have done that. So
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about the GoPro because to reach different user bases,
mhm,
there would be a commercial where there'd be extreme that started out as a company for extreme athletes. And so that was all their
yes,
advertising. Then as
yes,
the company matured, they showed it where people would be just regular skiers or
uh-huh,
somebody just
uh-huh,
taking pictures around the house with their kids and trying
yes,
to expand their consumer base and show
absolutely.
different all the different uses for the camera. But definitely got started with the extreme athletes and
Absolutely. So
stuff like
which
that.
point you did the consulting for them? In the very initial stage?
From the very beginning, from
Nice.
day one, when Nick Woodman, the founder of the company,
Uh-huh.
he actually flew up to Seattle with his dad, who was in financing, to
Mm-hmm.
meet with me at the agency at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And this was before the GoPro was launched, because he knew
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to do some type of television advertising
Mm-hmm.
using it. And so we started working with them pretty much from day one.
Mm-hmm. And till which point, like, GoPro is still your client, or like?
No, no, so what happened was he sold the business. This is quite a few years ago. I mean, they went public and had a
Mm-hmm.
really successful public offering. And
Mm-hmm.
then basically he stepped away from the business. He made a lot of money, obviously, with that.
Absolutely.
And then once it went public and there was new management, then our
Mm-hmm.
agency stopped working with them.
Got you. Got you. I
And
think.
then what happened was,
Uh-huh.
and this you see this a lot with consumer products. It happened
Mm-hmm.
with the juicer. It happened with GoPro. The market gets flooded
Mm-hmm.
with cheap
Yeah.
imitation, and then
Yes.
you lose your margin. You can't sell if you like when the GoPro came out, you
Mm-hmm.
could sell it for $300. There was nothing like it on the marketplace. People would pay
Absolutely.
that, but
Absolutely.
8 years later
There are so many
really
alternatives.
cheap, yeah,
Yes.
cameras from China were coming out, and then you lose your margins and you can't market the
Absolutely.
way you used to. So,
Absolutely. So
and
the
that
all
happens with a
the
lot of consumer products.
yes, yes, all the ads that we have seen, from the extreme athletes to those surfing ads initially when we were children, like, you are the one who did, or your company is the one who did all of that, right?
Hmm.
Nice, nice. It's insane. It's insane, I would say. Awesome. So yeah, I think, Rick, it was really awesome to have a like chat with you. Uh, and to be very honest, because having like people like you in the circle, or at least in the connection,
Yeah.
that is really awesome, because you guys have done some very big things, which is, we are still very far from that, to be honest. So thank you so much for like sharing not just your stories, but the thoughtful ways you are always approaching the marketing, man. As both an art and a science, the framework and the real examples you have given today will be very good for the founders and the marketing guys like us, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
And guys, if you are listening to this podcast, this is a must watch podcast. If you are running any type of marketing agency, you want to do direct marketing, anything like that, and if you have a, like, let's say, a product, okay, and if Rick have some time to do some consulting with you, he's, as Rick mentioned over here, is like partially retired, so he's chilling over there, working with 2 3 clients over there, right? So if you guys really have a really good product, and you guys are good, which is that thing needs to be there, definitely reach out to Rick. Okay. Rick will take a call with you, maybe, if he's free. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah, they
then
can go to the website. I have two
absolutely.
different websites. Direct Branding is
Mm-hmm,
one
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, that does a lot of the television advertising. Then my personal site is
I have seen,
rickcesari.com.
yeah, I have seen
Yeah.
both the sites basically.
Okay,
So
good.
like I don't think you are actively looking for clients, right?
No, but you know what? People reach out
Mm-hmm.
and I'll look at anything. I just
Nice.
don't do as much because I don't have a big agency to help support it.
Nice.
But I'm always interested. You know, it's in your blood. You're a product marketer.
Absolutely.
You like to
Absolutely.
see new products and things like
Absolutely.
that. And
Absolutely.
I'll pretty much look at anything. And
Mm-hmm.
you never know what the next GoPro or Sonicare or whatever is out there. So
Nice.
if you
Nice.
stop looking, you won't ever find those things.
Absolutely. That is definitely true. Awesome,
Yeah.
Rick. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for joining in and give your valuable time to this podcast. And one last thing, one last question I have. Let's remove the marketing from the game totally. What one advice that you want to give to the new marketer like us? Let's say it's been 1 year, 2 year, they have joined, they want to build a career in the marketing space. What one advice that you want to give to the new marketers in this
Yeah,
industry?
that's a great question. And I would just say, I know when I was getting started in marketing,
Mm-hmm.
I, whatever reason, I studied biology in college, so I didn't ever
Okay.
study marketing, but
Okay.
I was interested in it, and I just read a lot of marketing books
Mm-hmm.
uh, about direct response marketing, and
Mm-hmm.
I would just say read or watch as many podcasts, YouTube videos as you can. If you're interested in marketing, you want to make that career, learn
Mm-hmm.
from people that have already done it or are currently doing it, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can bring your own um, twist to it or your own,
Mm-hmm.
how you're going to make it a little bit different moving forward. But there's a big
Absolutely.
foundation out there for everybody to use
Mm-hmm.
by just looking online, like I said, at YouTube, reading books if you're really interested in being successful at the marketing, leverage what already exists out there and then see how you can improve on it.
Absolutely. Awesome. 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 That is really good. Awesome, Rick. So yeah, guys, for today's episode, we are ending this over here. And just like I will attach all the links below for the Rick's agency as well as Rick's personal website. Just go reach out to Rick, uh, disturb him a
My
little
books,
bit.
if you Google my name on, not Google,
Yes,
search my name on Amazon, you
absolutely.
can get almost all my
Yes,
books too.
yes. I will try to add those links as well below.
All
Okay,
right,
all the
great.
books, all the books. Like I'm trying to like I'm planning to purchase one book. So you suggest me one book that for me I am a let's I'm just telling you. Let me just stop this recording. This is a personal chat
Okay.
that I want to do. Okay.